Well, we came home from the show. We came home with a little gift, so that's always good. We're feeling all right, but give us some time to talk a little bit more about the PGA show last week. Hey everybody, Scott Hogan coming at you. We are back. We're here in Chicago. Great time in Florida, even if we did happen to come home with COVID-19 after it was over. But, that's all right. We've made it 2 years without it and feel fine, so we'll be past that. And you know what? I don't know what's worse, that or the 15 inches of snow coming to Chicago in the next 2 days. So, you know, we'll just keep going, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that PGA show. Again, tomorrow you're going to have the pro package coming out. If you want to buy it, I'll have the link down below. You should be able to still get the show special for it. If you are somebody that buys it on that show special, you're getting the discounts. They estimated that was going to be about till March 1st. So don't wait on it because things change. So make sure you hop on it right away. I can't wait to get mine and be able to go through those numbers. Now, with that said, let's just recap the PGA show. We talked about a couple of things that we've seen there so far. I'm going to talk about two more things and just kind of put a bow on it all throughout that week. But, the first thing being, who was the winner of the show? I'd have to say it was FlightScope. FlightScope definitely had the buzz of everything going on because of this pro package. I mean, their booth was hopping. It was easily the busiest booth at all times. And every time I'd go over there, just, try to talk to somebody, and it was just like, man, it was crazy. So I'd always be like, all right, I'm going to come back later because, they need a break or something. The other people that were there were the 247 Golf people. They were there. Igor was there, who is a great guy from their company. They do the enclosures, and they work with FlightScope now. They were constantly busy. He wasn't able to step away at all, except for a few brief minutes to be able to talk, and that was it. So really happy for those two companies and having such a great showing at the golf show. The other booth that really had a lot of buzz going, and I've talked about it on the channel before, which is Sportsbox. That's more of a coaching software that you have to be a coach to get it. I know a lot of people try to download it and get you have to get an invite code to use it. So they are trying to be selective of who is going to be using that software, which from a coaching standpoint, not a bad idea. It might be annoying for others as well, but they had a really, really good showing at the show as well. Now, two other really, really good showings that I saw was one from my standpoint. I don't know if this is going to be a feasible thing for most people, for most consumers, but PutView, they're the company that, if you may have seen this, they put like the greens, if you have an indoor green, they put down the slopes and everything, and they'll show you the path that you can hit your golf ball. They actually are coming out with what's called PutView Outdoors, which is just like a virtual reality headset that you put on, and that's what actually makes your ability to see it on the outdoor green. It just reads the green wherever you're at, and you're able to see. So having those goggles on, obviously this was a prototype. It's going to be available more towards the summer. So there's a few kinks that are going to be worked out. Plus, they were trying to screencast it so people could see what you're seeing in the goggles. That caused a few little hiccups in it. But as far as when I had the goggles on and what I'm looking at, it actually worked really, really cool. It was actually really cool. Like, you would have to hit buttons and stuff. So you're just like pushing ahead of you, and you'd hit the button by pushing into the air. I'm sure you look ridiculous to somebody on the outside, but it worked really good. I did it. My friend did it. We both hit putts, got the ball to roll on the track that was laid out. It read the green really, really cool. So again, I'm not sure how feasible it's going to be because it's going to be in that $12,000 to $15,000 range, but really cool technology. This is kind of the first I've seen of something like this going outside. And when stuff like this happens, you know what that really means is down the road, stuff gets cheaper and easier to do. So we'll see how that kind of develops as we go along. Lastly, I'm going to talk about is a company called Discover Golf, which I may have mentioned them on the channel in the past. I've used them for a long time, but they really had a good show where people are starting to really buy into what they do. If you're somebody that has kids, you buy a simulator setup, you're trying to get your kids interested in the game, they are really somebody to check out, or find somebody that coaches with their stuff, because what goes into it is really, really cool. And in my experience, players get really good really fast using their games. Their game, it's basically games, right? And so what you're trying to do is just get kids into it. And what I found is adults and my high school kids, they want to play all the games. And it really keeps them engaged in what they're working on. And, you know, when you actually think about it, they are learning a ton of golf stuff, but they're using kind of more of those childlike, you know, whatever you want to call it, in their head, those instincts. Those are what are going to make them actually enjoy it, and they get to do it and have a little autonomy over their game and stuff. It's really, really cool stuff. They had a great show there as well, and they have a lot of cool stuff. For our summer camps and stuff, we're going to be having a lot of that stuff around. We also use it a lot with our flight scopes and Mevo Plus. So they have some really cool games for the yardages that work really well with kids. But as far as the show goes, very interesting. I think it's a turning point year for the show. What I remember talking with somebody about this with COVID in general, when we had lockdowns and things like that, is I think a lot of places we're going to learn that they can do things remotely. That's what's happened in golf coaching. Like, you can learn that, like, hey, golf coaching remotely can be effective, and you can do it cheaper and do it at a different schedule and teach more people anywhere else in the world. All of that really can help you out and go and make things a lot easier. Well, for the show, they had to do it virtually, and I'm wondering how much people actually think they need to go. I wanted to go. I like going. It's important to me to network. It's important for me to be able to go and do educational stuff. It's important for me to see some of this stuff in action in person. But I think it's also really important, or it's not so important, we should say. It's really important to remember what a lot of people go to the show for, which is, you know, a lot of people go to see like equipment from like Titleist, TaylorMade, Callaway. But in reality, do they really need to see it? Is not seeing it going to affect their buying decisions? I doubt that. I think golf shops are still going to bring in TaylorMade, Callaway, Titleist when they release new drivers, based on the fact that people want to see them and want to hit them and buy them. It doesn't matter if they see them at the show or not. I think, you know, clothing companies, hey, we can send you and have you look at samples online now so easily. Do we really need to see it in person, per se? I'm not so sure about that, you know? So it's one of those things that I'm interested to see where the show goes. I know I've already seen people kind of reaching out with surveys about this past show, so I think we're going to have to kind of wait and see. But it was a fun time to be back in Orlando. Weather was terrible, but it was just fun to be back there, see some people, even though it wasn't everybody I normally see. And even if we get COVID going down there and I came back, it's, you know what, it was still a good time, and I would really, it was worth it for me to go. So that was something I enjoyed as we went down there. But anyway, if you have questions, things that you saw, please comment down below. Again, that Mevo, really, Flight Scope, they took over the booth, I thought, took over the show, and they have that Pro package coming out February 1st, which is tomorrow from this video. So again, if you want to buy it, make sure you check out that link down below. That does help the channel out and would be appreciated. And I can't wait to be showing everybody a little bit how those numbers work and what you can do to use them to get better. So if you have any questions about it, please let me know. Thank you, everybody, for the support. Click that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber already, and we'll see you in a future video. Peace.